member's time has expired. I call the member for Honourable Member for Wannon.
Thanks, Mr Deputy Speaker. And before I talk on an MPI, I'm always very curious to have a look at what the MPI is and then try and realise why the Labor Party might be putting it forward. And when I looked at this MPI and saw that the member for Throsby was putting it forward, I looked at it and I thought, this seems to lack substance. It seems to be all about style. And I'd say to the member for Throsby, I'll give you a tiny little bit of advice, member for Throsby, and I don't do this very often, member for Throsby, to people, but I'll just give you a tiny bit of advice. I think we need a little less walking to the dispatch box with the professional coaching that you've had in your mind, standing there, putting your hand there, and then this hand here goes into the pocket, and you look around and you think to yourself, OK, I'll get a bit of hand movement going here. I'll get a bit of hand movement going here with this hand here. We're all watching it. We see it every single time. Walk to the dispatch box, hand here, and we give this hand in the pocket and we make ourselves look very important. Well, member for Throsby, a bit more concentration on the substance. Little less style, a bit more on the substance. Because if you're focused on the substance, you would know there have been no cuts to drug and alcohol funding.
Yes. Sorry, the member for Griffith. Yes, thank you. Member for Wannon.
So if you're focused on the substance, you would know we have not cut drug and alcohol funding. Right, go away, do some research. Forget about your little style tips. Do the research. Focus on the substance. No cuts to drug and alcohol funding whatsoever. As a matter of fact, what has been taking place in this space is cooperation.
Order.
Cooperation, bipartisan cooperation, until you started this.
The member will be heard in silence.
Bipartisan cooperation until you started this shameful debate which seeks to break this bipartisanship on a subject which we all in this place should be above. We should be above. This is not about political opportunism. This is about a scourge which is impacting communities right across Australia. And you should all be seeking to work with the government to make sure that we can combat this scourge, rather than running dirty little smear campaigns like we're seeing with this MPI here. Let's look at what the government has done. We are running a TV campaign, and everyone who has seen those ads, know that they are working, know that they are having a real impact on the community, because if you've seen those ads, Mr Deputy Speaker, you cannot help but be confronted by the images in them. They portray what is happening out there in communities, in hospitals, in emergency waiting rooms, the types of things, the actions which is occurring when these people are inflicted by this insidious drug. We've also set up a hotline for parents, which is enabling those parents who are dealing with these types of issues for the first time, encountering stuff that no parent ever would want to have to go through. They can go and they can seek advice for it. We're establishing a nationalised task force with the states. So we're working with the state governments cooperatively. We are putting substance into the methods to deal with this crisis which is gripping our community. And all we can get from the other side is a pathetic MPI like this. On this side, we are about substance, as you know, Mr Deputy Speaker. We're about addressing issues properly. We're about putting policies in place. We aren't about style and seeking to look good. We're about effective action.
Order.